It's Monday, 4th May 2020, and you're watching the news live here on Adoatv, live from our studios on the John Evans at Mills High Street here in Accra. My name is Anastasia Badu. This evening, these are the stories we'll be coming, and some more we have for you from business, sports, entertainment, and international fronts. And to our first story, the President of the Republic of Ghana promises to secure $3 million worth of funds for the Noguchi Memorial Institute of Medical Research. Of the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research has stated that it's time to consider herbal treatment for the curing of COVID-19. And moving on, the Information Minister has disclosed that billboards of the President circulating on social media without face mask will be pulled down. And also in some other news, JJ has held this year's Press Freedom Day at the International Press Center under the theme, Journalism Without Fear or Favor. And in our last story for the headlines, the PRO for the Ghana National Fire Service says the service is committed to work despite the challenges. And we have details for you and some more coming up in this evening's bulletin. Don't forget you're watching us on Facebook, on Adoatv Ghana, and on YouTube, Adoatv GH. And the news is proudly sponsored by Asatec Roofing Sheet and Cookware. Asatec, sheltering you for life. Migo Purified Drinking Water, Blue City Ties and Accessories, and Yaksin Herbal Mixture. And to our principal story. The President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has promised to secure $3 million worth of funds for the Noguchi Memorial Institute of Medical Research to promote COVID-19 emergency response control of the virus. Professor Abraham Kwabena Anang, in an exclusive interview with Adoatv, stated that the $3 million is not only for sequencing, but for other methods and processes which will aid in fighting the virus.
Yesterday, I heard something about Noguchi seeking for some amount of support. I mean, it was actually quantified about $3 million to support in developing of vaccines. Is this true?
Oh, it's partly true. You know what? I like the way you have asked the question. You see, this is one thing that I believe also our media brothers and sisters, you have to appreciate that information when it comes, and I know you know that already. But I say information comes and many a times there's some distortion to it. So if you just take it in whole and you just also propagate it, you could most of the times be doing the wrong thing. So really, yes, it is true that Ghana government, from the president, promised that is going to secure some funding to promote COVID-19 emergency response, control, containment. Yes, the institute has been given the opportunity to allocate $3 million for a whole lot of things that has to be done. And we are preparing that package for the government. So it's not, it is not for sequencing alone. Oh, okay. There will be some sequencing.
But Prof, are you also in the process of developing a vaccine or something?
We, as I said, we have not started real research for the vaccine, but we've started research because we've started looking at the genome information, and that itself could lead us somewhere.
And on Noguchi, the director of the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, Professor Abraham Kwabena Anang, has stated in an interview with Adoatv that it's time to consider herbal treatment for the curing of the COVID-19 virus. He added that if all clinical and medical conditions are satisfied or met, the institute will begin to screen traditional herbal-based medicine and will take about 8 to 12 weeks for herbal-based medicine to be approved for use.
Beginning to screen traditional herbal-based medicines. We haven't started yet. We are setting up the protocols and the systems so that we'll be able to do that. Because before we can do that, COVID-19 is a new infection. It's an infection that many a times, the way it is behaving, the whole world is learning more and more about it. So it's not a virus you can just play with. Okay. So anything that we'll do, we have to make sure that It is going strictly in line with biosafety standards, going strictly adhering to biosecurity protocols, going strictly in line with quality management systems, ISO international standards. So it is things that are done with absolute precaution. And so we take time to set up the system. Once the systems are set up, then we can begin to do testing. And testing, we hope that we'll be able to do significant research very soon to come up with some of the important findings concerning preclinical, before we go into, let's say, clinical application, into clinical trials and things like that.
That is for the herbal medicine.
That is for the herbal medicine. That should not take too long. It should be a matter of some weeks. Let's say 8 to 12 weeks, we should have been far gone in that respect. So that is one area.
From that information, Minister Honorable Kojo Ponkrumah has disclosed that billboards of President Akufo-Addo circulating on social media without face mask, which is to educate Ghanaians to wear face mask, will be pulled down. However, he advised persons who want to help the government educate Ghanaians on COVID-19 that they should engage the government on proper measures to avoid mishaps. Kojo Ponkrumah said billboards of the president without face mask is not from the government, citing that in the president's last public appearance, he was in a face mask throughout his speech. And in a celebration that happened yesterday on the Press Freedom Day, today the Ghana Journalists Association celebrated this year's Press Freedom Day by raising a flag in commemoration of the day under the theme Journalism Without Fear or Favor. Speaking to Adoatv, the chairman of the National Media Commission, Mr. Yaobweduaye Boafo, noted that journalists need to be applauded for their immense contribution to development. Addressing the issue of security of pressmen, he stated that when journalists are attacked, the National Media Commission goes through some processes before issuing a statement. He therefore urged journalists who are attacked to make a complaint to the National Media Commission.
So the World Press Freedom Day is a day that the world has set aside to recognize the contribution of the media to national development. And it is important because the media plays critical roles in every society. And without the media, a lot of things can go wrong. Whether it is a question of corruption, whether it's the corruption of abuse of systems, out of this, it is the media that help us in holding people accountable and responsible. And it is imperative that we recognize them for their contribution. Anytime any journalist is attacked, anytime any journalist is prevented from working the way that they are trained to work, they should make a complaint to the National Media Commission. Because the safety of the journalists has been transferred to the National Media Commission. You know, it is in the moment that we're trying to plan what to do to firm it, and we had our meeting in February, and that's where we discussed how to handle this question of the safety of journalists. And then the coronavirus came, and since then we have not been able to have a regular meeting. You know, so let the journalists take confidence and trust in the National Media Commission and complain through the National Media Commission and see whether the commission will sit down or take any action.
So International Firefighters Day is observed each year on 4th May. It is a time to celebrate everyone who serves in the emergency services, especially firefighters who have lost their lives on duty. With an objective of preventing and managing undesired fire, the Ghana National Fire Service provides an efficient and valued fire and rescue services, as well as meeting the statutory requirement as to maintain and improve on public safety from fires and related emergencies. Speaking to Adoatv on the International Firefighters Day observation, the Public Relations Officer for the Ghana National Fire Service, Mr. Elisoko Robinson, says the service is committed to work despite the challenges. Reginald Addy filed the report.
On 4th May each year, the world observes the International Firefighters Day. We're here at the Ghana National Fire Service headquarters to find out how the day is being observed and what it means to Ghanaians.
Yes, to give you a little background about the International Firefighters, we had these 5 firemen who were involved in wildfire fighting, and they perished in the process. And since then, all the world over has observed the National Firefighters Day today. Here in Ghana, because of COVID-19, we couldn't have any big program. So we were able to put some few officers together. We observed a minute silence for the fallen heroes, and the big girl was played, and then after we had a prayer for them.
Very well. Now,
And this is going to be replicated in the other regions too. Yes, over the period, normally we don't disclose those casualties to the press because we say something like 10% casualty is allowed during firefighting.
okay.
But then we've recorded some injuries, about 65 of them, those who got injured in the course of firefighting. Within the COVID-19 period, we recorded about 272 fires. We have a standard operational procedure, and if it is followed, it goes a long way to ensure that we don't have so much casualty, more than the 10% that we expect.
All right. Now,
It is good to run to safety if you know you cannot handle the fire. Okay, but if it's a small fire that you can handle with an extinguisher, yes, you can do so. But if it is not safe to do so, you run to safety and call fire service for assistance. We want to say that despite our challenges that we have in the course of our firefighting, we are committed to work, and we are always motivated by our core values like dexterity, gallantry, perseverance, and the rest. It motivates us a lot to work to ensure that the people of Ghana are safe.
regardless the challenges, the casualties they go through, the Ghana National Fire Service is strict on ensuring that fire is tended in Ghana. For Adoatv News, Reginald Ad.
Of measures to control the spread of COVID-19, the president, in an address to the nation, announced the close down of all learning institutions. In order to keep students academically active, tertiary institutions banked on online lessons. However, the move has been a bit challenging, especially for students who complain about data charges and quick rate of data depletion. That notwithstanding, some schools such as UPSA is adamant on conducting examination online beginning 18th May 2020. Adwa News spoke to some students from the University of Ghana and UPSA to find out their views.
Classes, actually, with regards, I'm a level 200 student offering computer science and physics. With regards to my courses, my earliest class I have is sometimes 10 a.m. in the morning. But then my colleagues, some of them have classes as early as 5 o'clock a.m.
Oh, okay.
No, not actually. Like, just because of the corona, like, it just came after we were asked to come home. They sent us emails telling us we are starting an e-learning platform.
Okay.
So we weren't pre-alerted that something like that could have happened.
Oh.
Actually, it was a series of emails that was sent with regards to the e-learning. The first one was the announcement of the e-learning, followed by how the e-learning announcing to us the Vodafone, free Vodafone data stuff and all that.
Yeah.
So it was just a series of e-learning. So actually, people who weren't having access to their emails and then stuff were like, they might have heard it from friends, but they weren't officially alerted. Not every subject, because let me say not every course, because there are some courses which are laboratory based, experiments, physics experiments, chemistry experiments. Those stuff you cannot do them online. It's the e-learning is only covering courses which can be taught orally and physically. So it's just there are some lessons that cannot be taken on the e-learning platform. With the learning, actually, it's not been easy because it's not every time that you get access to good network. And actually, yes, it does. And then because they said they gave us they were giving 5 gig on Vodafone numbers, but actually they forgot to realize that with the Zoom platform, it consumes so much data that having maybe an hour class can consume over 500 megabytes, which won't last for a week. Which that 5 gig won't last for a week. And then after that week, you have to start using your own money to buy data. Actually, me personally, when I took my Vodafone thing, it took up to 3 weeks for the data to come. So within those 3 weeks, I was using my money, my own. So the data is very data consuming. The challenges are a lot. Like, there are certain things. For my course I'm doing, is mostly mathematically based. And most of the stuff, like, you need someone who is by you to explain it for you to really understand it. For you to get time and solve examples on the board and explain it further. But with the e-learning, the lecture only comes to display the slides, just read through them, and if there are examples on the slides, he goes through them. He's not going to solve it for you to see how it is solved there. So if should in case you miss a lecture, that's it. Like, there's no notes, you can't take down notes. You won't understand anything. You can't take down notes and all those stuff. So most students, most of my colleagues, we are depending on YouTube videos and stuff.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah, the problems are a lot.
Okay.
Another problem is the data we just talked about.
Yeah. Okay. So, have they told you about any upcoming exams or anything?
Actually, for the final exams, we haven't been counted yet. Or like they sent us a new calendar for the semester, which the final exams date wasn't actually set. Like, it was given, they gave a range, so there is no final timetable out yet. But then we have been taking online tests and TV and stuff. And actually, coming back to the problems of the e-learning.
Relating to the story you just watched, we have Ransford Adoatv, an educationist and a lecturer from UCC, who will also share some views on what has happened and what students are lamenting about. Hello, Ransford. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing, Ransford?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm very well. I'm very well. It's another month and we are still battling COVID-19. We are taking good care of ourselves. I hope you're doing the same too.
Of course, I'm safe at home.
Okay, and in the story I just read before having you on the line, some students of UPSC and University of Ghana have complained about the online studies they are having or lessons they are having. Some are complaining about not having enough money to be able to purchase data and then other stuff. How has it been, or what did the school do? I mean, your school, what did you do? What were the things you put in place to be able to put this online learning into practice?
Please, your line is a bit faint. Can you take it again?
I'm saying that in a story relating to our conversation, it says that some students of UPSA and University of Ghana had to have issues concerning the online learning that has been going on.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're also engaged in that, because speaking to you on the morning show, you've mentioned that you have some lessons going on online and students were complying.
Yeah.
How has it been so far?
Yes, that is at the university level, right?
Yes.
Yes, of course. A lot of students have criticized the online mode of study. And the main issue they have is with regard to the mode of assessment. And of course, if you can recall, the Minister of Education came out clearly to say that though the students are being engaged, but the public universities will not be assessed on the online form of assessment. Yeah, because you realize that the University of Cape Coast LSRC students even brought a memo or communique to their students, their college students, in connection with the online studies. And of course, the challenges they raise are enormous. Some of them are saying that they do not have access to the online learning because some of them are residing outside jurisdiction that have internet connectivity. And so if there are places where internet connectivity is low or places that there is no internet, you cannot expect the students to, have the online lecture. A student even shared his experience with me the other time, as well as the parents. Now, where the person lives, he lives in a village close to Akemodan. And so before he will get access, he has to take car and go to the brother in the city at Akemodan, where he will be able to have internet access to come online. And the most unfortunate thing is that a class of about 100 students, you see less than 20 or 30 students taking part in the lesson. So if you have about 100 students and you have less than 20 or 30 students taking part in your teaching, it means teaching has taken place, but the students have not learned. They've not gone through any behavioral change, relative permanent change in their behavior, resulting from what you are teaching them. And so when it happens that way, you cannot assess the student. Now, of course, what is assessment? Assessment means you obtain information about the students that you use it to make decisions about the students or a program. So if you have few of your students are engaging in this online studies, of course, you cannot use it to assess them. And that is what the students are afraid. For the private universities, I think they have to meet the authorities to communicate with them and engage them. After the public university, like I indicated earlier on, the minister has assured them that they will not use it to assess them. So they should not be afraid.
But Russell, this is a case where some schools have giving out directives on having their exams online. One school has, for example, Ghana Institute of Journalism, and also we're hearing UPSA is also scheduled their date for their exam on 18th May 2020. Didn't these things you have outlined come to mind before even scheduling the date for the exams in the first place?
Yes. So as I said earlier on, the student leadership, the SRC, need to engage the students, the authorities, the school, departmental heads, the vice chancellor, and all the people that matter. So they will give them assurance. Because, for instance, let's assume you are writing the exams online, right? And your network have a challenge. It is assumed that you have come online, and if you go back to enter into the system again, it will be presumed that you have more or less gone to refer into your book, and therefore you will not be, the assessment will not be fair. And so they have to take a very bold decision to meet their students and the school leadership to engage them, because if it is not your fault, because maybe a failure in the network, you were unable to complete the exam that you started, and you fail, you are going to pay for the registration, and that's going to cost the student. And of course, most of the students have even said that they've not paid their student loan to them, and so they do not even have money. How do they even get data to even be online? So if they engage them and the university do not understand, then probably the next thing or the next place to go is either the Ministry of Education or the accreditation authority. They will be the next, and probably the last resort is the legal, to take them to court. Because I don't think when they enroll them in the university setting, they were told that they will assess them online. And so this is a temporary measure. So for me personally, I don't even know why then some of the universities are in a haste to write exams, because the senior high students who will be admitted next year are even at home. So if you rush and you finish the semester, how will you get students for the next academic year? So I think they should work in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, National Accreditation Board, NTC, to come to a consensus. Because as the minister rightly said, that those in the public schools will not be accessed online. So it means that they are going to halt the academic year. So can the public universities run a different academic calendar from the private academic private institution? No. And so they shouldn't be in a haste to conduct online exams. Exams you want to conduct where the student has not taken part in the lecture, not his fault, because of a situation. And so I think the university should look into the student grievances and address it amicably. They should not do things that will disadvantage the students. Well, the students are vulnerable here. So the university should consider the student plea and come to terms with the students. Probably if they want to continue the academic calendar, they can defer the exams to a later date. I don't think the world has come to an end because we cannot write exams. We don't even know. Probably next week, when the president comes to speak, he will allow students to go to school. And my challenge is those who are in the final year, they have to complete school and graduate. For those in first year, second year, third year, they have more time. They have more duration to go. So I don't think the various institutions should be in a haste to write the students to write online exams. And in Ghana, we do not have enough facilities elsewhere where they have a lot of materials in place. I don't think they have a challenge. But for our country, we do not have a lot of materials and arrangements in place. So I don't think it will be fair on the part of the students to write the online exams at all. Personally.
Before you go, and with what you said, and initially you mentioned that a lot of students are not taking part in the online lessons because in a class of 100, you have about 30 or 25 people participating. Will that mean that when COVID-19 is done, we will have to go back, or teachers will have to refer back to class that they've already had by repeating all these sessions again?
Yes, personally, that is what I have. You see, I think this online thing should be a form of, let's say, backup or an engaging period, even both for the universities, basic school level, senior high school level, where we have the online for them. It's something that is supplementary. So I don't think the university should take this as, you are teaching a class of 100 and about 30 students are present. I don't think if you assess them, you are being fair to them. And so this form of learning should be a form of a supplementary mode of studies or an intervention, so that while the students are at home, they will not rust. And so as and when they have data or they have access to a tablet or a laptop, then they will be able to go and visit this online notes, so they'll be able to read. But if you use it to assess them, that one is not being fair to them at all. It is not they are making that COVID-19 is here. And it is not they are making that they do not have laptops. It is not they are making that they do not have enough funds to buy data. And so I think going forward, government needs to step up the game, speak to the telcos, even to reduce data bundle costs. Ministry of Communications should lead that chart. So data costs in Ghana were a bit cheaper. So students can, of course, if the universities are using a platform that is free for the students to be on the online learning, for that one, the problem will not be too huge. Even that one, the problem will be there because there are areas, some of the schools, the students are presently because they are on vacation. There are no network. And so this is a very big problem. The university authorities should come to terms with the students. So I think it will be a win-win situation, not to disadvantage the students as well as the academic calendar.
Thank you very much, Ransford. Thanks for your time this evening.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye, and have a good evening. And if you just tuned in, you're watching the evening news, we just spoke to Ransford, who is an educationist. Ransford Adoatv, an educationist and lecturer at the UCC, who has actually explained what students are lamenting over concerning the purchase of data and how expensive it is, how they're unable to even connect to be able to partake in lessons. I know you have your own thoughts, but you can slide in our DMs on our WhatsApp number and also on our Facebook pages and our website for more insight on these particular stories and some more. Away from the education story and to some more on COVID-19, the St. Mary's Anglican Church, in connection with its welfare committee, have distributed relief items to their parishioners. Some of the items distributed included rice, cooking oil, among other food items. And we are going on a quick break. When we come back, we have business. Don't go anywhere.
Supa na wanya pomuden se wo banum nso a hwe hu se eye mega purified mineral water eye nso a yetu ni baby pa asaso ne so se kroje se wonya mega purified mineral water bogu ubu a wo see you manum nsupa mega mineral water de edanso esan say the modern technology so na aye ede ne nkabia ne atri mega purified mineral water bacteria na mhen wa bewram eye very hygienic obia di wadanse mega mineral water neatly packaged with 500 ml bottles mu na wani bosua na okon donsio wo benya mega purified mineral water to bebia etufon ko dodo wa amount 40 per junction ana afre 050 7055 409 ana 055 392 1088 mega purified mineral water akona kono.
In business, as part of measures to mitigate the economic burden on taxpayers due to the novel coronavirus pandemic, the Ghana Revenue Authority (GRA) has announced that taxpayers who redeemed all the outstanding debts due to authority by June 30, 2020 will be granted a remission of penalties on their principal debts.
These measures, according to the Ghana Revenue Authority, are also to ensure that taxpayers fulfill their tax obligations during this period. In a statement issued and signed by the Commissioner General, the GRA said the due date for filing annual tax returns will be extended from 4 months to 6 months. This includes company income tax (CIT) and personal income tax (PIT). However, companies that can file returns before the extensions are encouraged to do so. The month of June will be the annual tax month for 2020 instead of April 2020. Additionally, the Ghana Revenue Authority will permit the deduction of contributions and donations towards COVID-19 as allowable expenses for tax purposes and taxes on selected third-tier pension withdrawals. The due date for sale of vehicle income tax stickers for the second quarter has been extended by 1 month, ending May 15, 2020, it further noted. Meanwhile, All taxpayers are expected to file their monthly returns by the due date using email addresses provided and pay their tax via SWIFT transfers. In the wake of the coronavirus pandemic, several businesses and organizations have been badly hit. The partial lockdown announced earlier by the government also restricted movement and impeded many taxpayers' ability to meet their tax obligations.
And for the first time in history, a virtual May Day celebration was held at the studios of GBC due to the outbreak of novel coronavirus, which brought the need to practice social distancing, which includes ban on public gatherings. The president in his address indicated that the economic indicators in the country are good. He also made mention of job creation in the country. That's more in the following report.
Workers of Ghana, job creation is one of the most important priorities of this government. It is the thrust of the social contract. And over the course of our stay in government, we have taken bold, innovative, and urgent steps to realizing this. Indeed, the latest Ghana Living Standards Survey states that the rate of unemployment, which stood at 11.9% in 2015, dropped to 7.3% in 2019. By the same token, our GDP has been growing over the last 3 years at an average of 7% per year, up from the 3.4% we inherited in 2016. Ghana in this period has become the largest recipient of foreign direct investment in West Africa. All this because our macroeconomy has been considerably strengthened. However, recent events have threatened
Exim Bank Ghana is collaborating with Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center, a member of the Tobinco Group of Companies, to produce hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin locally for the management of COVID-19 cases.
The Exim Bank said it is ready to advance a $5 million United States facility to the Tobinco Group of Companies for production of drugs locally. The cost of drugs has shot up in the international market, and Ghana Exim was highly impressed with Tobinco's utilization of a previous grant extended to the group and is ready to advance a new $5 million United States to help tackle the pandemic in the country. In line with the president's vision of industrializing the economy and supporting local businesses, the Exim Bank has identified 10 areas of the economy to extend support in order to drive the agenda. These areas include pharmaceuticals, poultry, agro-processing, fruit and juice, non-alcoholic production, agribusiness, including maize production, youth in greenhouse project, and cashew and shea butter production on a large scale. On pharmaceuticals, the aim is to support companies that are into the manufacturing, production and distribution of products within the sub-region.
It's been said that the GFA met about 11 million Ghana cedi debt when Kurt Okreku assumed office as GFA president. We have more on that in sports when we come back from the break.
Ago, good people of Ghana. Here are some safety measures on prevention of coronavirus. 1. Cover your mouth with tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose of tissue into a bin immediately you cough into it, and wash your hands with soap under running water. Avoid shaking hands and use sanitizers as often as you can. Signs and symptoms of coronavirus include fever, cough, sneezing, and difficulty in breathing. Should you experience any of these, or for more inquiries, please contact 0558 439 868. That's 0558 439 868, or call 0509 497 700. That's 0509 497 700.
Remember to always wash your hands with soap and running water.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, the Ghana Health Service, and partners.
Sports, a document titled Legacy Debts, prepared and presented to clubs by the current GFA administration, has revealed the Ghana Football Association in an astronomical debt of 11 million Ghana cedis. The legacy debt, divided into dollar and cedi components, is made up of $470,700 and 10,079,440 cedis. The GFA also mentioned Westhead, an agency that claimed to have brokered the deal between the FA and GNPC, leading to a court battle as one of the institutions they owe. The amount to be paid as the commission is $1.4 million. The debt reveals that GFA owes debts to Kizito Bayu, $35,000, the arbitrator of the GFA and Glo Impase, former Black Stars coach Kwesi Appiah, $180,000, 2 vehicles purchased in 2016 amounting to $100,000 US, the land on which the GFA Secretariat is cited amounting to 450,000 Ghana cedis, and many others. 2 travel and tour companies, Travel Matters and Kempon Travel and Tours, are owed $293,000 and 26,000 Ghana cedis respectively for providing airline services to national teams. Documents also had 1.7 million Ghana cedis and 480,000 Ghana cedis owed referees and match commissioners respectively, with only 300,000 Ghana cedis and 16,510 Ghana cedis paid to these 2 bodies. And stolen sports, former Chelsea star Craig Burley is of the view that stopping the current Premier League season may soon be inevitable. The Premier League met for another round of meetings late last week and put in place protocols club will have to follow when the season restarts. The Premier League is pushing to resume the campaign in June and has told clubs that the rest of the games will likely have to be played at neutral grounds.
You know, financially as well, but the relegation and promotion is really the big issue. What we've got to dilute here is it's not just the Premier League, right? Because if we're talking about playing these games...
In our last story, the United States women's football team's bid for equal pay has been dismissed by a court, with the judge rejecting the players' claims that they were unpaid compared to the men. The lawsuit was filed by 28 women's national team players last year against the U.S. Soccer Federation. They had been seeking $66 million in damages under the Equal Pay Act. Molly Levinson, the players' spokeswoman, said that they plan to appeal against the decision. After the equal pay claim was dismissed, striker Megan Rapinoe, who won the Golden Ball and Golden Boot at last year's World Cup, tweeted that they will never stop fighting for equality. Fellow U.S. striker Alex Morgan also said it's disappointing to hear this news, and this will not discourage them in their fight for equality. And over the weekend, the 3 Music Awards had their virtual concerts and awards, and we have highlights of them in entertainment when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
John, what's in your name? Wow. Edeyefe, Edi Wabwejuma. I check a roofing now. Oh, you fell one casa from Asatec. Oh, now Simon, roofing is a baby bray, nice keke. Why the catcher? Asatec roofing sheet today, and your nice keke with the bodan swa a chee and renache. They want to call us a hood of a fair bray. No one free roofing sheet no dear. Who hear that will be out. Now, so the bodan swa a hero supampe. What means to trauma send your open roofing sheet no. You try the salmon pepe. Mama po Asatec when you're there. One of my technical advice na estimate free. Our professional installers and so I want your on-site installation. Ne boss crowd dafum pa. Oh yes, quality ne bo dafam. Asatec 5 days pay na musa kan order. Na a year after sales service proper binso. Hwehwe Asatec Watema Community 2, Meridian Road, a Cocoa Board Warehouse, Western Region. So Asatec Watakrade Anaji, Yene Princeland Hotel and edition and a Volta Region yawo Akachi South District Assembly Kwino Suwa.
Welcome back from the break. You're watching the evening news and it's time for entertainment. The 2020 edition of 3 Music Awards came off last Saturday, May 2, 2020. The show was held without the usual live audience, but in a virtual form at the Fantasy Dome Trade Fair due to the novel coronavirus pandemic. The virtual award was hosted by Jay Foley and Na Ashoko Mensa and also witnessed performances from Sina Soul, Kiddy, Bosum Pyong, Daughters of Glorious Jesus and Dope Nation, among others.
Since its start, it was first scheduled to come off on Saturday, March 28th, but was rescheduled by the organizers due to the deadly COVID-19 pandemic. As a result of the pandemic, the organizers of the event, which couldn't wait any longer, decided to go virtual with the event, where they gave the audience the chance to watch the awards night right from their homes via social media platforms, adhering to the ban on social gathering directive from the president. Winners of the awards came through with their acceptance speech live via the video conferencing app Zoom. Viral Song of the Year, Davineba. Gospel Artist of the Year, Dinah Hamilton. Gospel Song of the Year, Celestine Donko with Agbibolo. High Life Song of the Year, Kwamina MP featuring Medical, A Man for Girls. Group of the Year, which is Dope Nation. Digital Act of the Year, Shatawali. Reggae Dancehall Song of the Year, Jadirobi, Poverty. Producer of the Year, Emoji Beat. Best Female Vocal Performance, Ifya with Sarah. Best Male Vocal Performance, Kiddy with Facheme. Fan Army of the Year, Sack Nation. Hip Hop Song of the Year, Kofi Mole, Don't Be Late. And then Hip Hop Hip Life Artist of the Year, Sarkodie. Best Collaboration of the Year, Sarah by Sarkodie featuring Ifya. Music Man of the Year, Best Male Act, Sarkodie. High Life Artist of the Year, Kwame Eugene. Breakthrough Act of the Year, Family. African Act of the Year, Tenny. Female Act of the Year, Dinah Hamilton. Album of the Year, Made in Ghana by Ochiami Kwame. High Life Song of the Year, Things Fall Apart by Kofi Kinata. Live Performer of the Year, Samini. Best Rap Performance, Sarkodie. Afrobeat Afropop Performance, Kelvin Boy. Song of the Year, Things Fall Apart by Kofi Kinata.
And on to a very sad one we heard over the weekend. Some celebrities are grieving after a report of actor Bishop Bernard Nyaku's death went viral on Saturday. Fellow actors like Yao Dabo, Nanama Mark Brown and Maria Siadu could not hold back their tears after hearing the sad news. Others have also taken to social media to pay tribute to the fallen hero and shared memories of him.
Bishop way Natirio
Minister Matrasi Busho, Minister Matrasi, whatever was a mama with them. Minister Matrasi, Minister Matrasi. And I will do assassination. I will do Watimi wakami bebrebe muma yenya na yefa odonti na watibu unu ya na yesie no no jemi ade potia ode koye oni ba mama umu supuntan ya.
Some more news. The Ghana movie industry was hit with the news of the sudden demise of the versatile actor and man of God Bishop Bernard Nyako. There have been lots of speculations about the cause of his death, with some attributing it to juju, which might have been plotted by his colleagues in the movie industry. In a recent interview, the brother of the late actor Isaac Darko disclosed that his brother died a natural death.
The friend Isaac Darko. Minuane Benanyako. Machiba no. Na me pese me ka kire adofo menua no oyare kakra na ne ho emfa no yene kwa yare sabia ni mpaibo eni ade ese nyina na se Nyankopon se ade obeye no obeye obi antumi sisa ade anya me pese oye enti no yene ba Rich Hospital Everybody hospital now is a more idea. Take enra, which is about 5:30. Ena onyame eto nisa a friend. It because a child of phone Bishop manage ne fan phone na say near media e kanu no kwe. Ne momuno nyame afreno e wa asundwe mu ina omsi say de be bosom de be we oye say ba pesem ka kire tiefo nyina say ni omu hu na nyesa na yehu no because omu no mu nim ni omu a ekoso omu de atesem na metiwe dabi ba omu mo ni anso mehwe yie because ade no hu na oka na senya ne kura.
That's a very sad one that has hit the movie industry and also people living in Ghana. To some of us, Kumawood actually entertains us, and this man isn't anyone we can brush off. May his soul rest in peace, and we pray that God comforts the family of the late Bishop Bernard Nyako. This has been it for the evening news, and we're going to go off. And before we go, let's take a recap of our headlines. The President of the Republic of Ghana promises to secure $3 million worth of funds for the Noguchi Memorial Institute of Medical Research. Also, the director of the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research has stated that it is time to consider herbal treatment for the curing of COVID-19. Also, the Information Minister has disclosed that billboards of the president circulating on social media without face mask will be pulled down. And in other stories, JJA has held this year's Press Freedom Day at the International Press Center under the theme Journalism Without Fear or Favor. And finally, the PRO for the Ghana National Fire Service says the service is committed to work despite its challenges. And that is all for this evening. You can visit our website for more news updates on www.adonewsonline.com. The news was proudly sponsored by Asatec Roofing Sheet and Cookware, Asatec Sheltering You for Life, Mego Purified Drinking Water, Blue City Ties and Accessories, and Yaxin Herbal Mixture. My name is Anastasia, but let's keep wearing our face masks. Let's wash them with warm, soapy water. Make sure we iron them before putting it on. And let's wash our hands regularly with soap and the running water and use our sanitizers. Cover your mouth with tissue anytime you sneeze or cough and dispose it off immediately. If you feel unwell, stay at home. Good evening.